This is Grealish.
One more.
I don't understand why he doesn't get on the outside of defenders. He can do it. You've got the ability. Get on, have a little bit of a go. Ball comes to him, he goes backwards. Just want him to be explosive and have a go because he has the ability to do it. We just saw as well John Stones. John Stones was another key player today in every aspect. The energy levels, what he's got, driving forward. You know, him and Gundogan were I thought, were exceptional today.
He's making a very good point here, Guardiola. He seems very emotional as a Man City coach. I was trying to recall whether he actually cried when Barcelona won trophies. Or Bayern.
I think we've seen him over the years shed a tear or two. You know, he's an emotional character, doesn't he? But this is him bearing his fruits of his work, isn't it? You know, winning things. You know, he takes enough criticism.
He's such an intense character.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'd find it hard work playing for Man City. It must be so intense, mustn't it? When never switch off.
When my father comes back from when they're doing Champions League games or whatever, he sits just behind him. Straight away when he's on the plane, it's the next game. Everything's out in front of him, and he's left alone, and he gets on concentrating about what they're going to do and how they're going to change it.
But then you have to be like that to do this. I mean, and I keep saying I don't want to talk about it, but these the financial irregulations and stuff. Let's not take away the fact that okay, they might have done it a certain way, but he still had to produce a team that's producing what we see. You know, you look at Chelsea. You know, they've spent 600 million and we're not seeing this type of football. You know, he's certainly not inventing the game, but he's certainly changing the way we see it played. I mean, this inverted fullback now, I mean, Liverpool have taken it on, Arsenal have taken it on. It's added something to the way teams play.
He's revolutionising it.
It's fascinating how the question you asked was who's adapted to each other. Is it Haaland the team, or is it the team and Haaland? He's found a way of amalgamating the two and getting the best out of everything, the whole entity. You know, and it's not just one way of playing. You know, we've seen that in the Bayern Munich fixture. It was completely different performances, first leg to second leg, home and away. And they've got that now in their armoury. They've got different ways of playing now.
I think they've absorbed and learned so much in little bits of mistakes along the way, especially in the Champions League. But I mean, you go back to his thought process through Johan Cruyff. He believes every player should be able to play in every position. You know, and it's just the way that.
I don't know whether I quite believe in that. I mean, look at Silva when he tried to play.
When he tried that,
I
was going to mention that a left back. But this is the way in which, you know, stretch the stones away. I think Delph was one of the first players where he tried that in midfield. But all of a sudden, the way you've seen Stones now is Delph tried that. So he's always having ideas. When you look at the likes of Arteta, who've been with Guardiola, they only know a little bit of what's going through Guardiola's mind. You know, he has the solutions. He has his ideas of what to do in certain situations. And it must be fascinating. It must be. I mean, I know it must be difficult to be with him all the time, but to get this group of players and to get them the way they play football and they believe in what they believe in.
Well, these are the days, aren't they? Sorry to cut you off. These are the days when you are with him.
Absolutely.
You know, these are the days where you go, do you know what, it's all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But they learned a lot. The Real Madrid game last season, that was a huge kick in the teeth. They managed to put that right. The last Champions League final against Chelsea, they were the better team, but it didn't work out. They probably went in a little bit too cocky with it. Obviously, Pep changed it. They will learn from that, and they're one step away from taking the club to a really another level next week. But once again, it's not going to be easy at all. It's going to be difficult. They will look at that, you'd imagine, and they will have a solution on which how they can stop Manchester City from playing, because Manchester United did that today.
OK, let's head back to Wembley then for the trophy ceremony and rejoin Stuart Robson and Martin Tyler.
Consolation listening to that from them. For them at the moment.
Yeah, certainly better than the last couple of years. Erik ten Hag has come in and he's, as you mentioned in the commentary, they're more disciplined both on and off the field. Had some big battles to win and he won them. I did question whether David De Gea could have done better for the second goal. Why didn't he dive for the first one? But he's been a great stalwart for them, been a brilliant goalkeeper for Manchester United over the years.
Prince of Wales handing out the medals, of course. president of the Football Association. Fred, who did his best. And at least Kevin De Bruyne didn't last the game, so he obviously had some effect. But
very difficult for Manchester United's midfield players because they were so often outnumbered in there. They weren't quite sure who to go and press, when to go and press, whether to drop off. So they had to do a lot of work. It'd be interesting to see the running figures of those midfield players of Manchester United.
City waiting respectfully, about to climb the steps joyfully. Ten Hag getting some sympathy from some Manchester United followers. His sense of organisation, as I say, off the field as well as on it, has carried the team forward, but he knows they need strengthening. Of course, they've got an ownership issue at the moment. What's going to happen with that? What money will there be available in the transfer market? They're talking about getting Chelsea's Mason Mount. On the subject of Chelsea, Mateo Kovacic is linked with Manchester City.
Well, that's if Gundogan goes, the player that just scored 2 goals in the cup final for them.
Yeah, and who knows what he'll do in the Champions League final. But no bump in the road on the way to history today for Manchester City. They will be very strong favourites to beat Inter, but it's been a competition that they just haven't been able to master. They've been in very good positions a number of times, of course, getting to the final, losing in the knockout stages, not quite punching their weight against Europe's elite. And I don't mean to disrespect Inter, but they played very well to get through the All-Milan semi-final. So here goes Pep. His 11th major trophy. 2 FA Cups, 5 Premier League titles and 4 League Cups. If there's a Champions League to add to that by, I was going to say this time next week, be a bit later, won't it? It'll be in the evening. But that will almost wrap it up.
Oh, gone are the days where the managers used to come suited and booted in the club blazer. Plenty of style, Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it went today.
For the record, some £3.7 million for winning this competition. That includes the $2 million for winning the final, but increment payments, getting through the rounds. It's not huge money by the standards of the Champions League and the Premier League, but it's not to be sniffed at. But it's not for the money, it's for the medals for this group of players. They join Aston Villa, Manchester City in 6th place in the all-time list. Arsenal 14, United 12, Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs 8, 7 now for Manchester City. These moments, even for players like and managers like Pep Guardiola, they can flash by, and I don't blame anybody for being slow along the balcony there.
Alex Ferguson, who managed Manchester United side against Pep Guardiola's Barcelona in this very stadium, where they were completely outplayed. Barcelona won that game comfortably with a great performance.
Forward of Manchester City, well represented. Pep manages upwards, but he manages downwards very well as well, as these players will all testify. We had Mahrez a bystander today, having got a hat-trick in the semi-final, and 2 against Chelsea in the 3rd round to start it all off. Julian Alvarez scored in that game as well. But here's the man of the moment. Not just the captain, but the man of the match. John Stones would have pushed him very hard. City have done this double, League and FA Cup, as they did in 2019. And just to emphasise again, one win away from a treble which would emulate Manchester United back in 1999.
And if they were looking at the last two games, this one against Manchester United, the game against Inter Milan next week, this would be, on paper, the tougher of the two games, you'd think.
But this is football. And, of course, Inter will have a say. Get the Champions League back to Italy. Medals to be cherished. And a cup to be proudly lifted. Eddie Hewitt there, chair of the FA. Well, an occasion which is truly a credit to the city of Manchester and its football. It belongs today to Manchester City. FA Cup winners 2023. There's no feeling quite like it.
And can they repeat it all again?